Good evening. This is DebraVWilson, still just outside of Janesville, Wisconsin. It is the 8th of September, 2016, GMT minus 6, with the time being 2300 hours and 24 minutes. It's late, so I'm going to make this another quick video. And my apologies for the delay. It was my intention and my stated plan to rigorously have a podcast on a weekly basis. I apologize for the delay, and I apologize for the short podcast. I'm continuing on my journey of understanding what I feel is an innate desire by all to feel safe, and then how that desire intersects with state-constructed security models. If you are following my Facebook page, Relationships in Conflict, you will notice the page is taking on a particular pattern. My intent of focus is to look at expressions of state-constructed security models and how they're perceived and experienced by civil society. I will be looking at the United Kingdom and the nations, the geopolitical spaces that make up the United Kingdom, which would be England, Scotland, Wales, and north of Ireland. And then I'm looking at Israel. And I should backtrack and go back to the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, I've had approximately 30 years of experience in the country, doing activism in the country, and looking at social cohesion, and also personal experience with the security models, and personal experience analyzing the security models from a civilian perspective. My plan, as both personally and from an academic perspective, is to continue that journey and continue to understand how and why people feel safe when they don't feel safe, and when they don't feel safe, how they communicate that to the state. And then Israel, I've never been to Israel before, hoping to travel to Israel in the not too distant future. I will be focusing on the state-constructed security models, which, despite the fact I've never been to Israel, I've actually had personal experience with the state-constructed security model, and how the model is experienced by civil society. I should also mention that I've had, via London, England, during my time traveling, my continual time, my ever-evolving time in London, England, I've met Israelis, and I've also met a number of Palestinians. The vast majority of Palestinians I've met in London, England, are civilians. I have met some from the political classes in Gaza, in the West Bank. They were visiting the UK for political reasons, and or meetings, and I happened to have the opportunity to meet them. So I don't need to say that the situation, the discourse between Israelis and Palestinians is complex. Still within that complexity, I'm attempting and hoping to find a space in which I look at multiple voices, both from the state perspectives and civil society, on how and why people feel safe, and when they don't feel safe, what happens and what that does to the state-constructed security models. So I will post this very short and very brief podcast on my Facebook page, on my Twitter page, and also my Tumblr account. And I would ask you again to, when you're listening to the podcast, to be reflective and look at your own nation's security model and how, when, and where you experience it. We always experience our security models, but are you aware of it, what you feel about the experience? And if the experience is not as you would like it to be, how do you communicate that to the state? Do you communicate that to the state? I would also like to mention, again, that I'm a native of Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, unfortunately, recently marked the murder of the more than 500 people so far in the year, this year, 2016. I think it's fair to say that the security model in Chicago is struggling. I would ask, if time permits, to take a gander at YouTube and listen to the voices of Chicago citizens and how they're experiencing the struggling security model in Chicago. Listen to people who've not only been touched directly, but all people, the voices, and what that's doing to the community, what the struggling security model is doing not only to the community, but to the security model itself. I would also ask you to look for videos by the state, the police, the policing sector, and hear them, and hear what they're saying, and what their words and the ways in which they choose to communicate their feelings and their experiences as the people that administer the state security model, and what they feel about the services they're providing, and how that contributes or not to the safety of all. Again, this is DebraVWilson, just outside of Janesville, Wisconsin. It's the 8th of September, 2016. My goal, and I will endeavor to return to my previously declared schedule of weekly podcasts, and going forward they will be lengthier, longer. In addition to that, I'm going to start doing a wee bit more writing, my analysis of situations and various modalities of security in England and the UK in general, and looking at the security model in Israel, and feminist voices and how they're engaging civil society feminist voices in Israel, particularly out of Haifa, and how they're engaging with the state security model. So for now, thank you. Do have a grand weekend. This is DebraVWilson. It's the 8th of September, 2016. I'm just outside of Janesville, Wisconsin. Thank you.